everyone, my name is Vina, aka Miss WOCReader, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my fall TBR video. So I know it's a little bit early, y'all are going to say I'm rushing the seasons or whatever, but once we start getting close to back to school time, my mind just immediately goes into fall mode. And I did one of these videos last year. I ended up actually reading the majority of the books on that list, although not all ended up being read during fall. And I do have quite the stack again this year, but there's a good variety. Definitely will be dependent upon my mood what I actually get to, but I like to have a mix of like the dark spooky books, the gritty thrillers, the cutesy romances, and I hope you guys find some books here that you might be interested in as well. Kicking it off, I've been meaning to read this one for quite some time, so I definitely want to get to it during the fall. It is Melanin Magic, A Young Mystic's Guide to African Spirituality. It is a middle grade. It's like an intro to African spirituality for children. This was sent to me by Running Press Kids a while ago, so that's why I really do want to get to this. I'm intrigued, especially as I'm learning more about African spirituality and all the things. Mama's Chicken and Dumplings. So this is a historical fiction set in 1930s Virginia. It is supposed to be a historical that doesn't deal with fighting racism, which we don't tend to see a lot of historical stories that don't focus on that, so that did intrigue me. It's a girl who's trying to set her mom up with a husband, though I think this will be a really cute read, and I'm hoping that it's good because then I'll be able to recommend it to more people with young readers. This is Camp Twisted Pine. I was actually supposed to read this one last year. It was on my fall TBR last year. I didn't end up getting to it. I should have put it on my August TBR, but my August TBR is so overloaded I don't think I'm going to be able to get to it during that month. So that's why I just decided to put it on the fall TBR. I will try and get it read in September. This is about a girl who gets sent away to camp after her parents announce that they're divorcing, and she finds out that an urban legend might be more real than they think. This one is not fall themed, it's actually quite the spring themed book, but in fall I do love to read a lot of romance, and I received this a couple of months ago, and I did not love her first book. I ended up DNFing the first book, so I wanted to try something different from this author because the first book was IP, which is intellectual property. It wasn't her idea, it was something she was hired to write. The outline was already put together for it, whereas this one is her own idea. So I am curious to see how she writes, because this is a good representation of her true style. And what also intrigued me is it's an interracial romance between a black girl and an Indian boy, which is something that is not completely uncommon, at least not where my family comes from, but it's not something that I usually see on page. So it promised Bollywood romance vibes, and I think this will be something cute and cozy and light. Keeping with the romance vibes, at the time I'm sitting down to film this video, this one just actually recently came out. This was sent to me like literally a few days ago by Harlequin, so I definitely did not have time to get to it beforehand, but I do love a good romance. This definitely has the fall TV movie type of vibes. So we have these rivals who are competing in a pumpkin growing contest and end up falling in love. So it's perfect for the fall. I feel like this one is going to be on a lot of people's TBRs as we get closer to the start of the season. And this is one of the last Afterglow books being published. A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping. A lot of people raved about the first book by this author, which I didn't end up reading. I am curious to see what her writing style is. I don't necessarily love a lot of cozy books, but this one is supposed to be a little bit more romance and just fantasy. I think it'll be a cute late night fall read, and it's set in Britain, so it should have all the vibes. Huntsman is a mafia romance, and it's described as a Snow White retelling. I have read a couple of other books by this author that I've enjoyed, so even though I'm not normally a mafia romance reader, it piqued my interest. So far I've been hearing good things about it. A black mafia romance does interest me. We don't see a whole lot of them on the trad side, so my curiosity was piqued. I'll Make a Spectacle of You is a Southern Gothic horror set at an HBCU. This one I've been seeing pop up on a lot of people's lists. The only thing that makes me hesitant is that it is an IP book, but the author did attend an HBCU, I believe in the South, so that piqued my interest. And I feel like, if nothing else, a few people that I'm mutuals with will be reading this, so we'll have something to talk about. Our Vicious Oaths has been getting a lot of hype. The girlies have been reading it. They've been eating it up. They said it is the smutty book of the year. It is the black romantasy of their dreams. I did like the blood trials and the action and adventure of that, so I'm hoping that there's plenty of action and adventure in this one as well, even though it is a more romance heavy book. And I can't wait to give you guys all my thoughts. Abrams' Coded Justice. First of all, I do need to shout out Doubleday because they have sent me every book in this series. This is the third book in the Averine series. I just want to see how she ends the story. I really liked book 1. Book 2 I kind of fell off a little bit on, but maybe book 3 will tie it all together. The Reaper by Jackson P. Brown. I love a good urban fantasy, and I've been trying to read a lot of black urban fantasy. So when I saw this, even though it wasn't publishing in the US, it intrigued me. I knew I had to get it. I said if I pre-order one book this year, it's going to be that one. And I pre-ordered this so that it came the same week around release week. I am very excited to jump into this one in the fall. It is set in London. It involves a Jamaican influenced Grim Reaper tale. I don't really know a lot of UK book influencers, so I haven't really seen anyone talking about this one. And I don't know if it's going to be published in the US at this time. So far she said no, but maybe if more of us read it this fall, that will change. Lauren Harper Falls Apart by Shauna Robinson is about a woman who returns to her hometown and reunites with her friend for the fall festival. So we don't get a lot of adult stories that explore friendships, like the breakdown of them and the coming back together, and what happens after you're an adult and you move away and you lose a touch a little bit, because it is very hard to maintain friendships the older you get. So This intrigued me. I've read Shauna Robinson before, and the last book I read from her was really good. I really enjoyed that one and how it explored familial relationships from a biracial woman's perspective. I think this will be great for the people who are looking for those cute, cozy stories with the fun fall activities, but don't want a romance, because she said she doesn't really write romance. And I think this will just be a good time. I expect some humor. I expect it to be comforting. And I look forward to another Shauna Robinson book. The Vanish Requiem by A.J. Locke. This is the third book in the Kitane Neris series. It is an urban fantasy series with a lot of romance in it. So if romance is your jam, definitely check out the first book in the series, The Vanished Witch. I thought it was a really cool portal fantasy that did a better job than a lot of other books balancing the romance and the action. A lot of what I want from these romanticities, this one was actually giving. And I love the world in this. After the events of the last two books, I'm curious to see how everything ends up tying together. So those are the books that I put on my fall TBR that I can't wait to get to during fall. Of course, there's going to be other books that I end up reading during the fall besides these ones. And like I said, just based on last year, I don't necessarily expect to get to everything, but I am hopeful. There's plenty of books in here to satisfy my moods and any other kind of mood reader. I will have all the books linked in the description box down below. If you like this video, make sure and hit that like button. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!